Cor- correct. The Khalsa was started by our 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji.
When was Khalsa created?
1699.
That's correct. For Vaisakhi in 1699. On that day, he asked who was ready to give their life for their faith. 5 brave men stood up. We call them the Panch Pyare. They were the first members of the Khalsa.
What was the purpose of creating the Khalsa?
I think the purpose of creating the Khalsa was so people could see that everybody was equal.
Close. The Khalsa meant purity of thought and actions. Guruji, no. The Khalsa was created to stand up for truth, protect others, and always do the right thing and follow Gurbani. Even though I'm still young, I try to follow these values in my own life. Thank you for listening.
Now, Gurmat and Sukhneet will talk about why did we need Khalsa.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today we want to take you back in time, over 300 years ago, to answer one powerful question. Why did the Sikhs need the Khalsa back then?
To fight in the Battle of Chamkar.
Okay, that was one answer. Anybody else?
To protect others and fight in the war.
Okay, well, that was very close, but it's because back then the situation was critical. The Sikh community was under serious threat, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the 9th Guru, had just given his life to protect religious freedom, not just for Sikhs, but for Hindus and others too. But the Mughal army wasn't done. Sikhs were hunted, villages attacked, and their faith constantly challenged. They were being forced to hide their identity. Fear had crept into many hearts, and some Sikhs were losing confidence and their unity, even lost connection with the Guru. That's when Guru Gobind Singh Ji knew something had to change. The Sikhs couldn't remain scattered, uncertain, or afraid. They needed strength, they needed unity, they needed a clear identity, bold, fearless, and unbreakable. And so, on Vaisakhi in 1699, Guru Gobind Singh Ji called his Sikhs together at Anandpur Sahib and did something revolutionary. He asked for a head, not just as a metaphor, but literally. It shocked everyone, yet one by one, 5 brave Sikhs stepped forward. Bhai Daya Singh Ji, Bhai Taram Singh Ji, Bhai Himmat Singh Ji, Bhai Mokam Singh Ji, Bhai Sahib Singh Ji, became the first members of the new order, the Khalsa, the Pure Ones. Guruji gave Sikhs something we had never had before, a code, a look, a discipline, and a deep sense of purpose. Now Sikhs could never again hide who they were. He made every Sikh a warrior saint, someone who could meditate on Vaheguru, but also pick up a sword and protect others. We needed the Khalsa because we were facing oppression, and we couldn't afford to be weak, silent, or divided. We needed the Khalsa to survive, but more than that, to rise. The Khalsa gave the Sikhs courage. It gave us unity. It reminded us that every Sikh is equal and that we stand for justice, no matter the cost. Sikhs were a spiritual community and now became a force that could not be broken. So when we ask, why did the Sikhs need Khalsa back then? The answer is clear. Because without Khalsa, the Sikh spirit could have been crushed. But with it, we became unstoppable. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Oh, next is going to be Nirvan Harnoor.
My name is Nirvan Singh.
And my name is Harnoor Singh.
Today we want to share a few thoughts about 2 really important parts of being a Sikh. Can anyone guess these 2 parts?
Maybe like following one of the 52 Sikh rules.
Okay. Anybody else?
Our identities.
Identity. And what's the other one?
The Khalsa.
The Khalsa.
I think it's Amrit. Backstabbed by Amrit to be a proper Sikh.
Close. The 2 parts are Bana and Bani.
What does Bani mean to you guys?
Like some type of pot.
Anybody else?
Meaty beady. Those are all correct answers. To me, Bani is the wisdom of the Gurus, the kindness, honesty, strength, and the connection of our to Waheguru. It reminds me to stay calm, humble, and to help others. It reminds me to listen to Kirtan, do our daily prayers, and try to understand the meaning of Bani, not just the words.
What does Bana mean to you?
What is Bana?
A chola? I forgot.
A chola?
What we wear.
Yeah, to me, Bana means wearing a dastar, keeping my hair uncut, and wearing simple but respectful clothes that show my identity as a Sikh. When we wear Bana, it reminds us to be strong and to stand up for what's right. It also reminds us to dress in a way that shows respect for ourselves and our faith, by being kind, honest, and brave, because that's what real Bana looks like on the inside.
Bani helps our minds stay strong.
And Bana helps our actions stay strong.
Now Jasmine and Liv will go in detail on Bana.
Liv, what is Bana made of? Bana is our uniform, consisting of our 5 Ks. Kesh, Kanga, Kirpan, Kashera, and Kada. These 5 Ks help us stay true to our philosophy.
What happens if we're not being true?
We go Pago.
What do you mean by going pago?
Well, Pago stands for pride, Hankar, anger, Krodh, greed, Lobh, attachment, Moh, and lust, Kam. Each letter represents one of the vices that we need to avoid.
This Bana is not just for show. It's to stay true to our Guru's message, to fight being pago.
For example, the Brahmin caste wore janeus and worshipped the uniform instead of the idea. That's something that Guru Nanak Dev Ji fought against.
Make sure you don't just wear your 5Ks, but live your 5Ks.
Now, Jaskirat and Jasmine will be talking about living through Bani.
Bana is very important to Khalsa, but without Bani, there is no Bana. My name is Jaskirat.
My name is Jasmine Kaur.
Today, we will be talking about Bani. What do you guys think Bani is?
A way to worship God. Something that that Guruji wrote.
Guru's Bani is the philosophy we get to live by. Philosophy is the rules or advice we should live by. They are our guardrails. Bani appears as the Shabads in the Guru Granth Sahib and tells us how to really live Sikhi. They provide guidance on how to live a truthful life with seva, devotion, and humility. The main example of this is at the very beginning of the Guru Granth Sahib, the Mool Mantar, the worthy advice of the Guru. It tells us how to really live Sikhi by being connected and accepting of change, to be discerning, proactive, and compassionate, and to be beyond fear and enmity.
Other examples include Nitnem, Shalok Mella Nova, Sukhmani Sahib, and so many more. We can look at Bani and realize that it's full of philosophy. Bani is a set of guidelines or rules that we as Sikhs follow. Gurbani tells us to be independent, to be courageous. Take bees for example. They buzz around and follow others. They're always scared and they don't think for themselves. Guruji made Khalsa, so we are independent, not dependent. To stand up and not cower. Sad Sangat Ji, are we bees or are we Khalsa? I can't hear you. Are we bees or are we Khalsa?
Bani is more than just the Guru's words. It's a sacred message that is meant to help guide us through our spiritual journey. Sad Sangat Ji, it's not just the prescription, it's the medicine in the prescription. A medicine that tells us to become Khalsa, to be pure, fearless, and spiritually independent, not blindly following others, but standing for what's right. One of the most profound examples of this is our 9th Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. During Mughal oppression in India, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji made the brave choice to defend Brahmins who were being forced to convert to Islam. Even though it wasn't his own religion, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji didn't give in and stood up for the oppressed and ended up attaining Shahidi. His sacrifice inspired Guru Gobind Singh Ji to form the Khalsa in 1699 on Vaisakhi, the day we are celebrating today. So in the end, Bani's intent is to guide us through our spiritual journey. It is a way to connect with Vaheguru and live according to the principles of Sikhi by reciting, listening to, reading, and understanding it. But we must also live both Bana and Bani with the right intention. So now I'm going to pass it on to Hartej Singh to talk all about intention.
My name is Hartej Singh, and let's talk about intention. Sad Sangat Ji, what do you think are intentions, and why are they so important?
What do you think are intentions and why they're so important? Can I ask an adult? I'll ask an adult. What are intentions?
What are intentions? In dictionary meaning or? Yeah, whatever you intend to do.
काम करना.
Oh, there you go. Very good.
Intentions is the why you do something, the motive. Why do you guys think that intentions are so important to be a Khalsa?
Why are intentions important?
Intentions guide our actions.
That's a really good response. Does anyone else have anything to say?
Can you repeat the question?
Why do you guys think intentions are so important to be a Khalsa?
Because intention speaks your actions.
That's also a really good response. So being a Khalsa is all about embodying humility, selfless service, and devotion, and not about seeking recognition or validation. And our intentions are so important because we need to be a Khalsa for the right reasons. If someone becomes a Khalsa to show off or prove something, it undermines the very essence of the Khalsa identity. The root of the word Khalsa is Khalas, which means pure or purity. And if you're a Khalsa without pure or Khalas intentions, you are not a true Khalsa. What do you think it means to be a Khalsa without pure intentions, though?
What does it mean, Khalsa, without her purity?
I don't know.
Anybody?
If you don't have pure intentions, then you're not really Khalsa because you can't have bad thoughts and be because Khalsa's meaning is the pure ones, you can't have bad thoughts and be pure. Okay?
I really like that response. So a Khalsa without pure intention shifts the focus from selflessness to self-centeredness, which contradicts the principles of a Khalsa. Now Liv, Gurveen, and Haryana will be talking about the journey of a Khalsa.
My name is Haryana Kaur. The topic we're discussing today is that Sikhi is a lifelong journey. The path of Sikhi is a continuous path of learning, self-improvement, and connection with Vaheguru. But everyone's journey is unique and there's no perfect path. As long as you are committed, you can move at your own pace. For example, as children, we start by learning the basics of Sikhi, as we are in Gurmat school. However, there are others in the Sangat who have been on their path to Sikhi for a very long time now and can teach us from what they have gained. Have you ever thought about your own spiritual journey? What does it look like? Would anyone like to share?
You want to share your spiritual journey?
What was the question again?
How do you want to share about your own spiritual journey?
No.
No.
सही जवाब दे. So, spiritual journey. For me, I am over 40 now, so I always believe in Vaheguru. Something wrong happened, something negative, and I don't understand what should I do. Then I go to Gurdwara Babaji's room, and I always get my answer. And spirit, high spirit, Chaddi Kala. So.
Thank you for sharing that with us. So everyone's personal journey is based on each individual. For example, taking Amrit puts one on the path of commitment and is a goal for many Sikhs. Do you think taking Amrit is the start or end goal of your Khalsa journey?
Start.
Next is Gurvi.
My name is Gurveen Kaur, and I'm going to be talking about something that we all deal with. It's called ego or home. Ego isn't just someone walking around saying I'm the best. It's also when we think I don't need help or I'll do things my own way, not the guru's. In fact, ego can show up in really sneaky ways. Maybe you've had a moment when you didn't want to listen to advice. Can you think of a time when your ego got in the way of learning or understanding something? Would anyone like to share?
Today, because when I was doing the speech, I thought it was really good and I thought it was like perfect, but and I didn't want to listen to advice. But after I got the advice, I understood that it wasn't perfect and like I got it better.
Thank you.
That's possibly ego doing its work. In Sikhi, ego is like a spiritual disease. But the good news, we're not stuck in it forever. The Guru is like a doctor who helps us cure us through Gurbani. But let's be honest, it's not always easy to let go of control. Why do you think it's so hard to trust someone else to guide us?
Because when like you think like you're the best and your ideas are the best, so you don't want to listen to anyone else because you think, oh, like that person doesn't know.
What does the word Sikh mean?
Learner.
Can you learn if you already know everything?
No.
Anybody else?
That's correct. But let's be honest, it's not always easy to let go of control. The Guru's teachings are like guardrails. They keep us on the right path, even when our ego tries to take over. So let's keep learning and keep walking this beautiful path together.
मेरा नाम लिव कौर है आज असी सिक्खी जीवन जाच बारे विचार करांगे Today we're going to talk about living Sikhi through our actions such as discipline, intention and seva ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਜਾਣ ਲੈਣਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ Sikhi is not just about knowing or understanding but about how you apply the Guru's teachings into your life Sikhi ਸਿਰਫ ਸੁਣਨ ਜਾਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕੇ ਜਿਉਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਸੇਵਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਅਹਿਮ ਸਿਧਾਂਤ ਹੈ ਸੇਵਾ is selfless service an act of kindness where you don't expect anything in return now I have a question for the kids can you tell me a time that you did seva
At the Langar
Not
Hall
Seva.
by doing like the bande and washing the dishes.
Thank you.
I did seva by giving the langar out to people who wanted it.
She said napkin seva.
Prashad Seva. By doing Nityanem in the morning. Serving food.
So these are all Nishkam Seva, an act of kindness where you don't expect anything in return. Nishkam Seva hi sachi seva hundi hai. Even the little things matter when they're done with love, such as helping your parents at home, being nice to a friend, or listening to someone that's having a hard day. But ਕਿਸੇ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਮਾਂ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਆਲਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਵਿਅਰਥ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੀ ਕਦਰ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਅਨੁਸ਼ਾਸਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। Anushashan means discipline. It's a big word, but it really just means sticking to your habits. Now I have a question for the parents. How do you practice discipline in your everyday life? For you, it could be at work, at home, or bringing your kids to Gurdwara. I would love some volunteers, or we will call on you randomly.
The discipline for me is starting and ending my day with Guru's word through Prakash and Sukhasan.
Can we get some more volunteers, please?
Or you'll be voluntold.
ਜੀ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਸਕੂਲ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਮੇਕ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਸਿਰ ਆਉਣ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਫੋਰਮ ਹੈ
ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋਨਿਹਾਲ
Just one more volunteer, please.
ਕੀ ਆ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਿਖਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਦੇ ਮਾਮਲੇ 'ਚ ਉਹ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ ਕਰਨ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਹਰ ਥਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰੀਏ ਆਇਡੈਂਟੀਫਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਰੀਏ ਸੇਵਾ
So these are all great acts of discipline that you practice every day. One of the biggest disciplines in Sikhi is Nitnem. It's the Guru's gift to us. By doing Nitnem every day, even just a little bit, we can build focus in all aspects of life. Now, let's talk about intention. हर काम विच यह बहुत ज़रूरी है कि तुहाडी नीयत साफ होवे. निष्काम सेवा भी उदों ही हुंदी है जदों साफ नीयत नाल कीती जावे. Niyat is your intention, the reason why you do something. You can figure out that why by asking two questions. Are you doing it to look good, or because you truly believe it's the right thing to do? And our intentions in our actions define us. So it's very important we stick to our values. Now, we would like to conclude by singing Guru Nanak Dev Ji Shabad.
Jangiyaan buriyaan, wache tarm hadu.